Hi everybody and welcome back to another Legends of Runeterra video and gameplay. Today I have a deck that I have showcased in the past. This is called Drawn Blood and it's a Draven Twisted Fate deck. Twisted Fate is the main win condition in this deck and Draven does well as a support champion because we are running some unconventional cards in this deck that don't get a lot of play. Two of them being the Arena Bookie and the Brash Gambler. Both of them kind of produce card draw in their own way and kind of need to work in a specific deck in order to be fully efficient. So the Brash Gambler, you have to discard 2 in order to play her, and then whenever you attack, you draw 2, and then the Arena Bookie will discard your lowest card to draw 1, and both of these cards work really well with the Draven axes. When you have lots of Draven axes in hand, you can discard those as a way to get more card draw, leveling up Twisted Fate faster, and also synergizing well with Slotbot, who gets an additional stat in health for each draw, and then it shuffles them. So he could have tons of health, tons of attack, and at any certain point, and can deal a huge hit to the enemy nexus or to a big unit. So some other card draw we have in this game are Pilfered Goods, pick a card, we've got Salvage, we have the Black Market Merchant. All of these cards are going to draw extra cards, buffing up all of our kind of win condition units. Now, some other spells we have are Warning Shot. This is an important spell mostly because it helps us enable Plunder, but it is also a burst speed spell, which when Twisted Fate is leveled up will allow you to get more of his card procs for each turn that you have without having to switch over your turn to your opponent. That's a pretty quick look at this deck. It's pretty fun. You should try it out. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks.
So we're going against a Karma, Ashe, and Anivia deck. So this is going to be a control deck, probably with a lot of Frostbite spells and things to synergize well with Ashe as well as with Karma. Winter's Breath is always a big issue in these types of deck, especially once Karma's leveled up. They're able to do a board wipe with that card. So that's kind of what we have to be worried about. Mana Ramp as well in this deck is pretty common, so we'll keep an eye out for that. We got 2 Crimson Disciples in our opening hand. I really like that. Makes it easy to deal some extra damage to the opponent if they don't have very big units in order to kill them. He has a Rhyme Fang Wolf. I don't like that. I want to get rid of it. It's possible he has a Brittle Steel, but I'm going to take the chance and attack into it just to get rid of it, so that later down the line, in case he has a unit that's going to pose Frostbite to me to be able to take out my units, I want to get rid of that unit really quickly. That can become a problem really fast in this deck. So I got rid of that, forced him to kind of block into it, and we're good. Alright, so he doesn't do anything. I'm okay with just not doing anything as well and having it come back to me. I really like that Transfusion pull here. Not too bad, and we place our Twisted Fate, and we're just going to go for card draw and get him to level up as fast as we can. We've got Salvage and Pick a Card in our hand right now, so it's looking pretty easy to level up Twisted Fate so long as he doesn't have any removal. Alright, and then he has a Rhyme-Tusk Shaman in. So like I was thinking, if I had kept that Rhyme Fang Wolf, that would have been a pretty big problem. I consider attacking here because I have a Transfusion, so I could get a easy or a cheeky kill kind of on his units. I decide not to because the possibility is really high that he has a Flash Freeze. So we are just going to work for leveling up Twisted Fate, like I said before, kind of playing the long game and using our win condition with Twisted Fate. Alright, we get some pretty good cards with Twisted Fate, or with Pick a Card here. We've got Warning Shot as well, in case we want to play the Black Market Merchant. He attacks with his he attacks with his man, the name just slipped out of my brain. Anyway, we could block the Crimson Disciple into his unit so that we could save our warning shots for later, and we're able to put down our Black Market Merchant without having to spend any other spells, which is nice. And now, because we have a ton of card draw, we're going to play the slot bot instead of Draven, since we only have mana enough to do one of those cards, and we're going to let Draven go. Slot bot's going to offer us a lot more stats here and a lot more pressure. And he takes the Frostbite as well. We're looking to get rid of this unit pretty fast here, as well as level up Twisted Fate. So here we level up Twisted Fate. Took only 3 rounds to do that, pretty fast. And now we've got our burst speed spells to get some card draw damage, and we'll stun the enemy as well, so that we can get rid of this Shaman and be able to have a full presence on the board without any frostbites. Alright, so this is kind of a cool interaction here. We got Draven's Biggest Fan, who procs the blue card and automatically draws a Draven. And he's got Shatter here, so now I'm worried that he's going to have another Shatter to take out my Twisted Fate. And so we need to kind of leave this Transfusion open and have enough mana to use Transfusion so that we can save Twisted Fate if we need to. So here I'm just getting rid of these units on the board, or his Shaman at least will be taken out, which will be nice. I won't have to worry about that anymore. Uses Shatter on Twisted Fate. And I attack with my Crimson Disciple and Draven's Biggest Fan. I was just trying to kind of get him to kill his unit here. He didn't go for it, and now he has Winter's Breath. So that pretty much tells me he most likely does not have Karma in his hand, because you most often want to play Winter's Breath when Karma's in hand, and he feels that the Twisted Fate is a big enough threat to use right now. We save Twisted Fate with the Transfusion. Fortunately, can't do anything about the slot bot, but we have a backup slot bot here, which we can play. Since we drew a lot of cards this round, he's going to get a pretty big buff right now. And we're in pretty good shape. Okay, he uses Catalyst of Aeons, heals himself a little bit, and like I thought, he's got Mana Ramp in his deck. And now he's Enlightened. So now we need to worry about all of his Enlightened units, including Anivia and Karma. And like I thought, he didn't play the Karma, so he most likely doesn't have her in hand. We'll play Draven here. The reason I played Draven here was so that I had another spell to use in case I needed to stun or get some extra damage off. With that spell, I would be able to play that at burst speed if I needed to. Alright, now we're going to use pick a card and just take things a little bit slowly here. There's no reason to go fast, especially when we're the aggressor. We're going to use Make It Rain instead. Something for all. Just playing a little bit slower here, damaging them enough so that we can take some of his units out and get rid of his Starlit Seer. And he's got another Feral Mystic, which is kind of lucky, honestly. Either that or he's just been holding them this whole time. Alright, and then we shuffle his card into our deck. Stun his strongest unit here.
Dead in their tracks.
And now we can block a little bit more efficiently, not having to give up as much as we would have. So I opt to kill one of his units with my slot bot, which may have been a mistake here, but he doesn't have a lot of units in his hand. He's only got 2 cards, and so taking that out felt like it was worth it. Alright, and we get a pretty good draw here. This is the reason why we have Noxian Guillotine in the deck. I want to play kind of slow here because I want him to play a card. I want him to put a unit down. So it could be Karma, could be Anivia, could be, you know, just another card. So I use the Spinning Axe, and I'm going to pass it back to him and get a card draw out of here. And the reason why I want to do that is because I want to play a spell after, or play a card after he puts another unit down, so that I injure that one as well with the red card, so that I can potentially, if I need to, finish it off with the Noxian Guillotine. So we target his strongest unit here with the Noxian Guillotine. Finish that off. He's on 2 cards left in his hand, and he surrenders. So pretty good gameplay there. Shows kind of the strengths of this deck and card draw.